going on, Jeromes? Happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. It's time for some Vikings Q&A. Thank you, everyone, for submitting some questions. Got some dang good ones as we hurdle. It's 1 month to the NFL draft. It's a good time. So only 75,992 more mock drafts and more conjecture. Will the Vikings move up? This would be the week to do it, because why the hell not? First up, futures. What is your opinion on the Vikings trading up a lot for JJ McCarthy? Personally, I hate the idea of it. Trading for May or Daniels, I'm perfectly happy with, but McCarthy is not worth it in my opinion. I'm open to the idea of drafting him at 11, but trading up just for him is not a good idea. And I understand people would have reservations because of McCarthy's lack of bulk stats, but then you factor in the type of offense that he was asked to run in Michigan, as well as he didn't play in the majority of fourth quarters during the regular season with Michigan because they were just blowing teams out. But with McCarthy, when he was asked to make the big-time play, big-time throw on third down in the fourth quarter, he generally got things done. And also, May, true junior, but also you look at Daniels, a little bit older of a prospect, and you're betting on when is this guy going to apex? He's going to be in a couple seasons. And with McCarthy, he's a guy that's still growing and showing. And you always do the thing. It's like, hey, if this guy was on this other team, how would he fare? If McCarthy was on North Carolina, I think he would have put up similar numbers as Drake May. If he was allowed to be in the Oregon offense like Bo Nix or Washington's offense like Penix, I think that he would have put up numbers as well. McCarthy, so in today's modern transfer portal, like McCarthy, if he wanted to go put up numbers, he could have. He could have gone to a very quarterback-friendly system. He could have gone to Tennessee, and he would have put up numbers. And I think that's why. I understand why people do have reservations, because you're banking on something that you haven't quite seen except for in spurts, and it's more about projecting what this guy's going to do at the next level. Where with May, especially in 2022, you saw that. With Daniels last year, when the Heisman, you saw that. So it is taking a bit on faith, but also I wouldn't be shocked if there's a couple of teams that have McCarthy as a top 3 quarterback, especially for what they're going to be asking him to do, especially with the Vikings, where McCarthy has the most under center experience of all the quarterbacks, where he does have the most play action experience in a pro style offense, where he can make those on time, on purpose throws over and across the middle. So I don't know, I'm in on McCarthy. I understand what they're going for, but I get that the price tag is kind of hefty. But I mean, if Washington and the Patriots stick and pick, I mean, the cost to get up to 4 or 5 could be a little bit less. But we'll get into that. Next, Carter Goatzinger. There you go. Sam, toxic relationship rebound. Darnold hoist that glorious Jerome Barty one time. So toxic relationship rebound. So we did this video, I think it was last week, about were we in a toxic relationship with Kirkua Jerome? We can't do that anymore. Kurt Cousins. And Darnold. I mean, Darnold's just sort of in between. Before you find the 21-year-old blonde and JJ McCarthy. Don't know. But I don't. I'm a little bit more bullish on Darnold than some people are. And again, I understand that it's mainly because I skew more positive. But Darnold was the number 3 overall pick in 2018 for a reason. And he having all the comps and all the plaudits and stuff is like, oh, he's the next Andrew Luck. Oh, he's got mobility and size and a big time arm. And his redshirt freshman season at USC, it's up there with Johnny Manziel in terms of a great redshirt freshman seasons. But 3 years of dysfunction with the Jets. Adam Gase just really not having a good time there. Went to Carolina. I mean, Carolina traded a second-round pick plus for Darnold, so they obviously saw that he was the guy. But I mean, Matt Rule and company, the genius brain trust there, obviously didn't work things out. And yeah, his last 2 seasons as a full-time starter, 2020 and 2021, he had more interceptions than touchdowns, and that's something about Darnold's that. he will force things at times, and he will be a gunslinger at times, but that's something that the Vikings are going to have to work out. But I do think that Darnold does have talent and upside, and the fact that he's going to have the best supporting cast he's ever had. He's reunited with McCown, who they had a great relationship, and they're both quarterbacks with the Jets. And also working with Kevin O'Connell. Just everything is set up where it doesn't even matter who the quarterback is necessarily. Everything is set up where they're going to have a very good chance to succeed. And if they don't succeed, frankly, that's kind of on them. And with Darnold, with the Jets and the Panthers, when he was a starter, they weren't great spots, right? And then with San Francisco last year, he was a backup. And his 1 year of backing up Brock Purdy and being in that building with Shanahan actually may pay some dividends, because that was the thing about Darnold. He needed a lot of coaching, needed a lot of polish, and he certainly got that last season. Next, R-Free. First off, I want to say thank you for not selling the channel out to a sponsor. You're little did we know, donuts. You're a great source of content, and even better that you're not promoting a gambling type outfit with a lot of younger viewers watching. So we've sort of gone back and forth on that. We were sponsored by DraftKings for a second on the audio podcast, but that was a couple years ago, and we have gotten offers to have basically go NASCAR, lots of sponsorship on the channel, and we've shied away from it because I don't know, like I feel like once you cross that Rubicon, there really is no going back, and no judgment on any other channel that takes sponsors, because I mean this is a time investment, and everyone's time is definitely worth something, and there is overhead and all that stuff. But you guys are great in terms of the Venmos, in terms of super chats, in terms of keeping the lights on here. So I don't know, like. We could talk a full hour about the marketing of sports gambling and the fact that it's taking over sports coverage and also leagues. And is that a good thing? Is that not? I don't know. But also, basically, they turned sports betting into a video game, and that's really not good. It's really not good. Anyways, question. Your thoughts on Coach Flores being a GM someday? When you think about it, he's done every job he would be in charge of managing. Best type of boss in my eyes. And with Flores, of course, Flores, everything with the lawsuit hanging over his head, would an NFL owner eventually move past that and hire him to be a general manager? It's possible. And as we pointed out a bunch, Flores, before he got into coaching, so Flores was a hammer and safety at Boston College back in the day. And before he got onto the Patriots coaching staff in 2008, eventually rising up to be defensive coordinator in 2018, de facto defensive coordinator. But he had 4 years on the Patriots scouting department side. Guys like Monty Ossenfort, Nick Caserio, and all those other jabronis were floating around there. But being a scout for 4 years, I mean, yes, being a coach, like you do have eyes like, hey, that guy's good, that guy's good, that guy's good. But being an actual scout, getting into the nuts and bolts of player evaluation, like that's important. And I think that Flores may be here for a while as defensive coordinator, which selfishly is fantastic. But in terms of the grand scheme of things, where he deserves another shot to be a head coach, the fact that he got 0 goose egg D'Angelo Russell head coaching interviews last hiring cycle, considering what he did with that Vikings defense, going from one of the worst in the league to top third of the league in most categories, like it's appalling. But it's clear that the league has frozen him out, and the Vikings will benefit if Flores is here for an extended period of time. But I think that once he gets back into the saddle as a head coach, I think maybe he could go down the GM route again after he's out of coaching. So, yeah, that's something that's always been really interesting about Flores, and something why I've been really excited about him taking a larger role in personnel this offseason. And you see it with the free agency signings, and reportedly he's going to be very involved in the draft process as well. So Flores, this is different than just any coach getting into like, hey, I want that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. Like, he has been in the trenches in terms of player eval. So, yeah, really excited about Flores. I think that the Vikings absolutely got themselves a stud in this spot. Next up, Thomas Rohr. Vikings trade into top 5 and draft a quarterback who then turns into a bust. How damaging would that be in the long run, say 3 to 7 years? Well, there's a non-zero chance that May, Daniels, or McCarthy, Penix, even Caleb Williams, they bust. I mean, it certainly happens. And even though this is potentially one of the deepest quarterback classes in NFL history, statistically, they're not all going to make it. But in terms of setting back the franchise, I don't think it necessarily would, because you've seen with Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell that they've been, well, maybe not O'Connell, but Kwesi, like they've been very quick to, this guy is not working out, so we're just going to move on. And you look at Booth, you look at Scene. I mean, they could be just shoved on the field because of their draft status, but Flores is just like, no, not so much. But I think that the Vikings, especially in the rookie salary cap age, where, I mean, back in the day when like Jamarcus Russell and Sam Bradford and Stafford and stuff, I'm not saying that Bradford and Stafford and stuff were bust, but when those guys were getting tier 1 money before they even played it down in the NFL, if you missed up at the top spot, like your team was going to be set back for a significant period of time. But now with the rookie wage scale, really is no muss, no fuss. And I feel like that if a guy's not working out, you're not going to invest 3, 4, 5 years into him, where maybe it's 1 or 2. But that's perfectly fine. But also the Vikings having that cap flexibility, the Vikings having a very solid team around the quarterback. Like if the quarterback comes into the Vikings offense and can't get things done, that's on them, because everything else is there with JJ and Addison and Darrisaw and the running game and the coaching staff, etc. So no, I don't think it would set things back. And also, hey, maybe you do invest 2 years into the guy just to see if he's a dude, right? And maybe they bring back Darnold, or looking at the free agents next offseason for quarterback. Maybe they bring in Justin Fields. Maybe not. Or maybe they finally get together with Jameis. Or, like I said, maybe Darnold does have some modicum of success and they bring him back. Maybe it's a franchise tag. And the fact that the rookie is on his rookie deal, I mean, that's palatable. And the Vikings have the cap space to do that. But also, I mean, next year, reportedly is a down class with the quarterbacks with Quinn Ewers and Shedeur Sanders. So maybe it would be good that the Vikings would set things out and then go find their quarterback again in 2026. Next. Ryan Iwazada, longtime OG Jerome. What up? Aloha, Andy. Where are the Vikings management for extending Christian Darrisaw and Justin Jefferson before drafting the Vikings' future franchise quarterback in round 1, 2024? I think it's unlikely that either of them get done before the draft. And with JJ, I would say his extension gets done before the start of training camp. I think that's something that gets done over the summer, where generally GMs, and Spielman was really good about this, where they like to start off training camp with some positive news, like they'll extend a fan favorite, locking them up on a long-term deal. And I think that we are going to have some of the offseason, I wouldn't say drama, but last offseason when JJ wasn't at voluntary OTAs but showed up for mandatory minicamp, and then obviously didn't miss any training camp either. I think you could possibly have that absent an extension, which is fine. It's his prerogative. But JJ is going to get done. Darrisaw, I think they will pick up Darrisaw's 5th-year option, which I think is projected to be around 18 for next year. But unless it's a significant discount, I don't really see a long-term deal getting done with Darrisaw this offseason, even though he is eligible, mainly because it's a deadline-driven league, and Darrisaw with the 5th-year option is under contract for 2 more years. Teams generally don't do that. Plus, the fact that Darrisaw hasn't played a full season as of yet, health is still an issue. But if he comes out and dominates this year, I mean, the price tag is going to go up. Except, that's the risk that the Vikings are willing to take. So I think that the draft will come and go, and I think that JJ will get done done this offseason, and Darrisaw 5th-year option, yes, but long-term extension, probably not. Lastly, Soggy Biscuit, how many brackets did you fill out for March Madness, and who do you have winning? So, 1 sheet of integrity. Well, hold on. All right, so technically I'm in 2 pools, but it's the same bracket because I have the sheet of integrity. So there you go. And I got North Carolina Cabana Rays up winning where. So I was like a huge college basketball fan. Fucking that time. And I always loved me some North Carolina, like a lot of people did. Like back in the day with Anton Jameson and Ed Cota running the point, and Vince Carter on the wing, and was it Jamaica Okafor? No, those UConn. God, what was his name? He was number 13. Like Maktar Njai down in the post too. Like Dean Smith back in the day. It was good times. North Carolina, come on and raise up. So yeah, I got UNC winning it. They had a little scare against Tom Izzo and the Spartans over the weekend, but kind of like their chances. And so one pool is amongst friends and family, and then one pool is just head-to-head against the wife. So the winner gets to pick the movie that we go to on a date night, and she's got Houston winning. So Texas A&M, what the hell, man? Like, you cost me a chance to go see John Wick 6, or I don't know what's in theaters nowadays. But that's it. That's Q&A for this beautiful Monday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.